Alright, so this is a video for Munno, who says his stack often dominates early and gets destroyed from a couple of fed carrots. This is the first team he suggested. He says the best example. So let's see what goes on here. Okay. Boy Munno is the Brewmaster, who's going safe lane? Safe lane brew? Alright, let's see what we got going on here.
The battle begins.
Not for you.
So this is an all-pick game, but unless your friend's like really good at Conquer, I've never had a good experience with that hero. It's terrible.
Missing bottom.
Okay, so we got for each lane here.
Oh, nothing for you.
These are pretty strange lanes that you choose to run. I don't know, like, this just seems weird. I guess because you have a weird Conquer pick. Like, you could have had a Brew middle who would shit all over this Lycan, like horribly. Because you put haze on him, he can't get creeps. You just keep haze on him, can't get creeps. And you stomp him, and like he should get destroyed. Instead you have a Conquer, which is whatever. I mean, this lane you should win pretty easily, unless this guy gets a kill somehow.
A pearl of life.
Got our roaming air shaker. Alright.
Oh man, first blood just splattered!
They sing the song.
Okay, so like on the little pubs, like undying is just stupid. Like if these guys ever get out of position, they should die, right? They don't have any escapes. You have Slark who kind of has an escape, but like if you ever see the Earth Shaker, you should just like. Actually, I think would be kind of funny is if you had a ward here, and anytime you see the Earth Shaker, you just toss the undying at him and drop a tombstone. It'd probably be an easy way to get kills. Another good thing about like undying is anytime your stone is up, you can just go contest a pull and get free farm. That's cool. So I see, like this lane's going pretty well, but like the one thing, like this guy's still got no farm. He can get all the kills in the world, but like this lane should be scaring that Slark, scaring that Earthshaker, and you should be getting farm. Like getting kills is great and all, but like farm is also really important. Because like, oh cool, like let's say you kill this Slark, awesome. He loses a small amount of gold, like 90 gold, whatever. You maybe get like 250. He can make that up by just hitting like 6 creeps. So your kill is only worth you hitting like 6 creeps. Nah, it's a little more than that. It's probably like 8. It's like 40 each. 70 creeps. So like a kill is only worth 7 CS if you really think about it. So like you shouldn't try and like go too crazy getting kills thinking it's the most important thing. Like farm is also very important and being able to farm. So I mean, I guess we can assume this early game is going to go pretty well for you guys. You already got 3 kills in this bottom lane. You should be having a good time. And I don't imagine we'll be able to kill the Slark too. He doesn't steal his SN shift. This is stupid. We should always have one-on-one because this removes like 20 HP every time you hit, so it's like functionally more damage. And with that lane, I think the Brew should have a little more CS too. So we look. Okay, 20's alright.
Missing bottom.
Like you probably want to have, like in a decent lane, like 60 creeps by 10 minutes, and you're not on route to do that.
Oh, Radiant's
Now the
bottom
lane's gotten a
tower's
little
under
harder
attack.
though. But like it's because this one's
Dyer's middle
completely
tower's
lost.
under attack.
You throw the fissure, they can't even do anything. One thing though, I think this Undying has been here for a really long time, like without mana. Like, I know he's saving for Arcane Boots right now. Like you might as well just go back and forth, let the Tiny get solo EXP, solo whatever. Their Tiny still has no CS, it's still 8 CS.
Dyer's middle tower's under attack. Oh boy, Dyer's middle tower's under attack. It should be against the rules.
See, Lycan still seems to be having an okay time. It's good.
Radiant's
So we'll turn
bottom
that into a
tower is
kill.
under attack.
The problem when you like
Radiant's bottom tower is
when you
under
play
attack.
a lineup and like you're completely reliant on your kills is that you're super subject to the comeback mechanic. Like all you're gonna get is that the gold from like your kills, and like any gold is worth more than the other in terms of the comeback mechanic. But oh, sorry, I lost my thought there. I just woke up. So like no gold is more worthwhile, but if you're only like marginally ahead and then you start dying, it means like you don't have like the sufficient gold advantage to actually like account for those losses. Slug's gonna do it. See, it should be really hard to kill this guy. Like you're committing like a little too much to trying to kill him. Just like take the tower, so you open up the jungle for like more aggression. Kunkka should have a TP. And not having a TP means if there's like an actual fight like top or something, you can't TP to actually help. Which boat's amazing for.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower, it's gone. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Feels like they don't even care. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So you're getting like a steady advantage right now. You got like 2k gold, which is alright. This isn't a huge advantage by any stretch of the imagination.
They're going after Dire's bottom tower.
Wait, what? Okay, there we go. I was scared. I thought I knew this brew should have a blink right now.
Whoa, Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So like I think the way you should play this right now is what the brute does is he gives you like huge team fight every time your ult is up. Like you shouldn't be trying to skirmish here all the time. I'm assuming you go back to base, right? Yeah, okay.
Dire's bottom tower is
Like,
under attack.
you have Tombstone where you can fight, and you have Brewmaster when you can fight. So every time this ult is up, you guys are like mega powerful. So you just want to like go siege a tower. Until then, this Tiny needs to be farming. Like he's your biggest carry here. I'd say you guys. It's kind of rough. The late game should be kind of even, right? They better. I'd say they probably do one
It's a killing spree over here.
Like Tiny is still like an absolute monster though, and he's really annoying for Slug. Because Slug doesn't necessarily want to build a BKB, so he can Dark Pact one of the Craggies. So he can Essence shift a Craggy, but then like any melee hero who wants to actually fight a Tiny like needs a BKB, and if the BKB is down, particularly given like 5 seconds, it's like a nightmare for them. So this Tiny just needs to get farm. And I know from looking at the Dota buff that this Tiny does not farm, and he gets an Aghanims, and like Tiny is like one of the fastest farming heroes once you get a fucking Aghanim Scepter. Yeah, it is a preference thing, but I usually like Treads better than Phase. It lets you farm more. And like when you're ulted, what does it really matter?
Oh, Rick, he's dominating now. He's dominating. Those little rascals are hitting Dire's bottom tower.
So like right now, this Tiny doesn't need to initiate, and I know he's gonna buy a Blink Dagger. So like the way you should play Tiny is you can buy a Blink, and like situationally it can be okay. But if your team doesn't have initiation, or you think you can use that to snowball, or they have like a Wisp relocate or like a Nature's Prophet, and like you need to like blink out of ganks really quickly, like it'll let you play aggressively in that respect, where you can split push a little harder. But like getting a blink when you have a Brewmaster initiation and like Undying Tombstone to like keep people in place, like what's the point in getting the blink? Once you get the Ags, you can just go crazy with farming. The blink doesn't let you do it. You should also get a bottle so you can nuke more waves and stuff. That's nice. You guys are gonna end up getting a free Roshan here, I'd imagine. Yeah, they're not contesting it. Got an Earthshaker. He's gonna try and be marginally inconvenient. Oh, no, he's just gonna die. Nice, that's good work coverage right there. So let's see where this game like really hits the fan for you guys. So your advantage is never huge in this game, right? You're still only at like 3k advantage. But you got Roshan, and like their lineup is really centric around getting Roshan, that like and being able to split push with like impunity. Like things going pretty great. Okay, we just missed something seemingly important.
Morty.
Damage.
Morty, watch out. It's a killing spree.
See, what would be really nice for your team is I see you're going Ags, and like the Ags is good and like improves your team fight a little more, because it makes the little splits do a little more if you can micro it well. But if you get like Vlad's and an AC, or AC can't get the AC because the Tiny wants it. Like the Vlad's is really good. Like it helps the Tiny out a bunch because he needs like the 5 armor early on. I think getting the Vlad's and then the Ags if you really want it is probably good. And I am also a proponent of getting Radiance on this guy. This actually lets you creep, and it's still huge in team fights because you have the double burn. Speed this back up. So like right now your Tiny still has 18 creeps. Like he's 4, 3, and 11. Like the 3 deaths are kind of bad. Your Brew is making space, right? Yeah, 4, 1, and 5. That's pretty good too. So like your Brew is doing stuff to make space, but your Tiny is just not farming. Like that's a problem. So like if you want to run that stupid dual lane, that's fine. But like Tiny's a hero who needs farm. Like he needs to transition, he needs items, he needs an AC, he needs an Axe. You can get a Manta. Like there's so many items he can get that makes him scale so well. And all this guy wants to do is like do dumb dives and not farm. So like from what I saw, even assuming you took like great control of this game, if this guy never starts farming, then when you try and high ground and fail, then you're just super far behind. Like when you take an advantage and they're scared to leave their base, or you have absolute control of the map, what you want to do is use that space to farm the entire map. You farm your woods, their woods, 3 lanes, ancients. Like every minute, the entire map should be farmed out assuming you have enough control. This guy's also gonna be really annoying for you because you don't really have any way to catch him too well. Like you have Conka's X, and like, that's kind of it. Like a Tiny combo. So it's definitely gonna be like an issue in your lineup where maybe you'll just keep getting drawn to that guy if he plays well. Or you can choose to just die for fun too. I also, you had the Aegis, which I don't think you needed. Like, you're a Brew. You're basically invincible once your Primal Split goes up. You gave it to the Tiny, he wouldn't have been punished for like one time where he chose to do something stupid. It's like still, like, this guy's 27 creeps at 21 minutes. That's like 1.2 creeps a minute on a hero that should be getting 10 as a core. And he's 110% at core in this game. But you still, like, you're even winning the fight, but like, what does it matter? Your Tiny is like just now building an Axe. I also don't like the Aurora Club first. The point booster gives him a lot, because lets you farm with your Q and your W. Did he really get? Did he just skill stats?
That's not good.
4, 3, 7. Yeah, he got stats instead of his passive. Passive is amazing. I think you need the armor. Oh boy. There it is. Oh, that awkward moment when that cooldown just comes up, right?
Can you smell it? The smell of freshly slaughtered bodies.
Okay, like now you guys are in pretty good control of this team. You got like 8k. Roshan should be up soon. Kind of overstay your welcome. We get counterpick there, but whatever. Okay, let's look at that fight again.
That's ridiculous.
It's like cool, but okay, so you know these two are up, and you're still sticking around when you guys are low. Like, what's to be gained there? You're a Brew. You're not gonna kill this tower. There's it's a 2-on-3 in their base, and the rest of their heroes are up pretty soon. You might as well just back up and farm there. Like, if you guys back up, farm their woods, TP heal, farm here, or just I think you might have been in okay shape as the Brew to like just go farm top. That would have been swell. And just like getting your next item, like getting item advantages is gonna do so much for you, because that's what's gonna let you high ground against them, even like against their bullshit, like the Wyvern spamming crap at you, the Earth Shaker spamming fishes. Their high ground is not to be fucked with. You group up, you get Wyvern ulted. Sorry. You group up, you get Wyvern ulted. The Tide can blink Ravage, or Shaker, blink Echo. Like well, he doesn't have a blink yet, but he can Echo. They've got a lot of shit that makes pushing high ground scary, so there's like no reason to just go crazy about that. Just farm until Aegis, and only with Aegises do you take high ground. That's where Tiny takes the Aegis, Tiny sieges here, and Tiny kills the tower. And if they want to initiate on the Tiny and like blow dumb shit, then that's their prerogative, let them do it. And then when their ultimates are down, then you punish them. Because like you even have a Shadow Demon, so you could take this Tiny, put him away. Oh god, I can't remember what that's called. You can put him in a disruption and then send his illusions at this tower, which are going to hurt the tower quite a bit. Tiny can even get a Manta. Oh, it's creepy looking.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Escaping death is easy when you've broken.
It's like he's about to die again. Still has no farm. Still has 39 creeps. Just terrible.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under
But you're totally overstaying your welcome here. Like, what do you think's going to happen? So, like, all 5 of them are up. You're jamming on a tower here. Do they have Echo? I guess, oh, they just use it there to kill you.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Your ult was down, meaning you're weak. Like, what do you guys have? Tombstone was down. You can't stick around just for the sake of sticking around. Like, you have to make smart decisions. Like, you got some kills, you forced a buyback, you leave. Like, forcing that buyback is huge. That means if you pick that Slark again, he can't buy back and come back into that fight. But, like, it's just you overstaying your welcome into a lineup that's going to punish that. Like, Wyvern's super strong. He'll stop you from killing people with a Glimmer Cape and Cold Embrace. You get Slark who will just run at and, like, jump someone because you don't have detection because it's under a tower. And like your Tiny's still not farming. This Tiny should just say fuck the, like if I was this Tiny right now I'd say okay, you guys are being stupid, I'm not doing this, I'm gonna go farm. I'm gonna keep farming, I'm gonna farm, I'm gonna get an AC, I'm gonna farm, I'm gonna get a Manta, I'm gonna farm, I'm gonna get a fucking oh god, Moonshard. Like whatever items he wants to get, it doesn't fucking matter what the items are, just as long as he gets items. Like right now, doesn't even have an axe, it's 27 minutes in. I have shit Tiny games. Like he had an excellent bottom here. If he actually got some creeps while he was getting those kills, it would have been great. And even if I have safe lane Tiny games where, like, I'll get like 10 CS because he'll be running like a goddamn Huskar and like a Veno offlane or something cancerous like that. And what you do is you just save up, you get your bottle, you do these jungle rotations, farm the lane when you can. Eventually they'll leave your lane and you get some farm, then you get your Ags. Like I'll generally get like a probably like an 18-minute Ags in like a rough game or something like that. Like it's not a huge amount of gold. And then, like, because you threw that fight, like, are they gonna be able to take Roshan? Probably not. Is there like an at? Nope, like instead. So they can't take Roshan off of that. But your lineup's also pretty slow at taking Rosh. Yeah, you don't want to die on anyone. Like if this Tiny had AC now, if you had a Vlad's, like taking Rosh should be a lot easier.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Finally, start leveling his Craggy, that's good. Should be maxed by now though.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So like this game is just you guys constantly fighting. There's like what, almost 2 kills a minute. Yeah, 56. It's 50. Yeah, it's 56 kills, 28 minutes. So you're almost 2 kills a minute, and like there's nothing wrong with slowing down the pace of a game. Like you're not at a point where Brew's gonna super fall off yet. The Tiny still has miles and miles to improve upon, and he's not doing anything. I don't know what MMR he is. This is supposedly a very high skill game, and this Tiny's playing like he's 2K. Like they get wiped again by taking a shitty fight. But you're slowly losing your advantage, you see? Like, oh, you're getting kills and you're out killing them, but like look at their heroes. 150 CS, 120 CS, and then you got 100 and 100. Like they're getting slaughtered and there's like tons of fights that aren't going their way, and their heroes are topping the CS boards by like a huge margin. Because like you're taking fights and then like not farming. You're taking fights and sitting around to die. You're taking fights where you have like no real good reason to. Like you have a player down here. Why are you pushing them? There's nothing to be gained by doing that. They have 5 up. You have 4 up. They had Echo, which you should have known. You probably should have known they had Ravage, and no one ever know. Those things you should know. Like Kunkka's not really a fast farming hero. You can get a Battle Fury which lets him farm and like scale a little better. Like there's nothing wrong with going this damage build, but like you could still farm. Like, you have to know when to do what. And in this particular instance, like, you guys just keep fighting, you're taking fights there's no reason to take, you'll win a fight and then stick around and get wiped right after. So like all the gold you just gained, you just lose and feed to whatever heroes. It's a bold deny attempt. It's not meant to be. So let's go in networks. So like, look at this. Like, yeah, their two supports are pretty poor, but like, what do they need to function? Like this guy, if he had a blink, that'd be nice. But he has a glimmer cape. Like he gets a glimmer cape and a cold embrace, and like that's what he contributes to a fight. Tidehunter doesn't really need a lot. He gets a he gets a blink, and then like having a refresher is really nice, and he'll eventually get to that, but doesn't necessarily need it. Or Shaker just needs a blink. Like and then their cores just have rest of the farm. Like their cores are super rich. They're beating both the yours by quite a bit. So we have a 2k advantage here and a 4k advantage there. And then Tiny just trailing with a Tidehunter offlane. When he had a lane that went well, and the Tide didn't have a lane that was so great. And it just comes down to, like, honestly, just bad decision making. Like you're sticking around in fights too long. You're not farming the map. Like when you have control, and you definitely had control. They should be so scared to fight. You get good vision up, you farm the map. That's it. It's Dota right there. You just farm the map and you get a huge advantage. Throwing fights like that is super punished with a comeback mechanic. Like yeah, you have a marginal advantage, which is now gone. Yeah, they're winning now. I can see you might feel you're winning. You know, you're up in kills, but your Tiny's poor. Tiny's completely poor. And like you're never taking Roshan. Like you have this entire game has been fights like right here, which means like this whole area is under your control. Like this entire the map is completely under your control, and you're not using it. Oh, and then you get raped at a fight because they have all their ults up, right? Do you have ult up? Yeah. Then they get a free Roshan, and like, what do you do now? They should really give this to a Slark, but I doubt they will. Oh no, they do. Okay. Yeah, this Slark with an Aegis is just like, what can you guys do against it? I'm sure you'll probably end up killing him because they're bad players, but still. Again, this is it. This is you. Now you've completely lost control of this game. Like, up until this point, so let's pause. Like, up until this point, you were winning fights. Like, you were winning fights convincingly and then trying to force a high ground where you couldn't. Where the safer option... This guy did not buy a poor man's shield, did he? Okay. You were winning high ground fights. Or sorry, you were winning fights, like, in this area, and then trying to force high ground when, like, you didn't have your ults up, you didn't have your skills up, and your heroes were low HP. And you died here twice. You died here once. And, like, these were stupid fights. Like, here you were 4v5. Here you were, I think 3v2, but you guys are really low. Brewmaster ult was down. Undying Tombstone was down, so it's like, what is your fighting potential there? Their creep wave's here, so they're going to farm that creep wave. They're not going to chase you into the woods when you're as 3. That would be really stupid of them. Which they could still do, but you can easily back up, farm this, and then when your heroes respawn, take Roshan, because you have board coverage, right? So, well, you have map control, so you should always have board coverage, and then you're able to use that to take Roshan, which will let you push high ground when you have that on a good hero. But like the biggest issue of this game is this Tiny doesn't have farm. But none of you have farm. Like, none of you at all have farm. But this Tiny in particular has definitely no farm. 60 creeps at 34 minutes, it's horrible. It's 2 creeps a minute. It's less than 2 creeps a minute. It's like 1.8 creeps a minute on a hero that farms so quickly. So we can watch this, and he only gets 90 by the end of the game. Spoiler. Okay, actually he's farming the woods. Oh, no, leaves to go to a fight. He gets killed. Like, they have Aegis. Why are you even trying to fight? Like, they have an Aegis and a Slark. Why would you even want to go to that? Like, okay, let's see what the alternatives were there. Okay. Tiny's... Oh, that was Tiny. Okay, so Tiny's here. Slark is like looking for someone in the woods. Ignores the Tiny for unknown reasons. You're farming. Okay, you see them going on your Kunkka. You go to join the fight. What are your options here? You know they have an Aegis. That guy's dead. What are you really going to contribute? Slark is farmed and has a Aegis. Maybe if you get really lucky, he'll take down the Aegis. But this guy's full HP. Tide's full HP. You can assume there's probably more people nearby, which there are. So what do you gain by going here? And like, what are the alternatives? Like you're, oh, green tiny. You can farm this out. You can keep farming your woods since he's dead. Like there's you can't like try and save dead teammates, particularly when it's gonna result in you dying. When you're a carry, you should not be dying. This guy's now 7 and 8 because he has no farm. So like right now he could go farm top. The brew could go farm top. The tiny could continue farming the jungle. Oh, he didn't even finish killing that camp. I was so proud of him for actually killing a camp, and he didn't finish killing it. So you're dead. Kill no one. You lose 2 of your cores, quote cores. Because this guy's poor. He's poor. Everybody's poor. It's not very fun. And like you escape. You escape on the brew. It's a horrible fight. It's like game losing. Their creep waves are kind of pushed in now, which kind of sucks for them. But they should still be able to pull it back and get a tower probably. I doubt high ground, unless they're feeling really ambitious. I'm sure they could force the fight. No, they choose not to. See, like they're doing the smart thing. Like you guys are up, they won a huge fight, and what are they doing? They're farming. This guy's farming bottom. Goes into the woods to farm, right? Yeah, goes in the woods to farm. Earthshaker's farming camps. This guy's farming ancients. The Tide's jerking off. Like they're all farming right now. They won a huge fight, took an objective, went back to farm. They didn't try and force high ground when you guys were all up, which maybe they could have. You know, they have the Aegis. It might have been worth trying. It's kind of iffy. Like you could try that if you felt like you didn't have the late game, but I would feel pretty secure that I have this late game. So like, why am I going to take something stupid, give you guys another chance to run down middle when maybe we don't have buybacks and maybe the Aegis is about to go down? Like they're making the smart decision. Like they win a fight and they farm. This guy's now got a force. He's probably higher net worth than the tiny, right? No, close enough though. But like now it's getting to a point where their supports who used to be poor are now getting items. Now they're getting super luxury stuff. This guy's probably got his Yule's finished. He's getting a refresher now. God, I hope that's a refresher. He's got a BKB, so he can't get burst comboed. Oh, and then they take a fight. Cool. Get a Ravage, good Echo. Brew ult comes way too late, you should just backed up. Your spirits can just die here. You might be able to live actually, it's about to go down. But, yeah, you make it. But like at what cost? Look at that. You're 3 dead, you kill a Wyvern, you lose the team fight, you kill the Aegis that was about to expire, and now your ult's down, so you can't fight for like another minute. So they get more objectives, and let's see what they do after this. Lycan goes, and farms the woods. It's like, this is how you win games. They take an objective, they go back and farm, they're just increasing their lead. Like, their lead has to be huge now. Like, 10k? 15k? Yeah. It's huge. Because, like, like, if you notice the difference, to, like, draw the contrast here. You guys would take a fight, win a fight. Like, win a fight super hard, overstay your welcome, and die. And then when you overstay your welcome and die, they're farming. Like, if you win that fight, back up and farm, you're taking a huge advantage. You win that fight, and then you try and push high ground when your team clearly isn't capable, because it wasn't a decisive enough win, then you lose that fight, and then they get return kills, get all the gold back they lost from dying initially, and then they farm the woods. Like, that's the story of this game. Like, let's look at their last hits. It's got 100 more, 50 more. Guys, like, their farm is still shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this isn't an impressive farm or anything. But like, they are getting farm, and you guys are not. Like, that's the story of this. We're kind of beating a dead horse here. So basically, you're asking why you can dominate the early game, mid game, and then just lose late game to fed carries. It's because you're not using your one early game to get your carries to become fed carries. So you're this type of person who makes me super angry in my games. Like I had friends, or I guess have friends, whatever, who do this. Who, like, they'll just run around looking for kills, thinking this is just a game about getting kills. And like, if you want to win a game, that's not what you do. I even bother with just cursing him. He's useless. Nice Echo. And like, if you want to get kills, like, that's fun and all, but don't expect to win games just by running around getting kills, or at least win them consistently. Because like, if you won these fights more decisively and were able to force high ground, cool. But you didn't win them decisively, and then when you didn't win them decisively, you lost the game. So you overplayed your advantage. When like, if you look at a team like EG, if they're in a situation where they can't force high ground, what they're gonna do is just back up, farm the whole map. Like if they have an advantage and they don't feel comfortable pushing high ground, just farm the whole map, get a huge advantage. I had a game the other day where I was like a safe lane freaking Doom, we completely dominated them, but they had like Enigma Black Hole and like, was it a Tinker? I think they had a Tinker. Oh no, we had a Tinker. Whatever. Their team was a nightmare to push into. You know what we did? We farmed out the whole map. We had 2 heroes with 10 creeps a minute. And the third one with like 8. And then our supports were fed to shit too. We had like a spear break with like 100 creeps at like 40 minutes, which is okay. But we had a Doom with like 400 creeps at 40 minutes, and we had a Tinker with like 500 creeps at 40 minutes, and we had a Lone Druid with like 300 creeps. And that was because we couldn't push high ground, we couldn't safely get picks, and we just farmed out the whole map. We had a 40k advantage when we won the game. Like, was it necessary to do that? Well, yeah, because if we force a fight, get massively black holed, which happened a couple times and lost us fights early, then we lose the game. And since we have such a huge advantage, like I'm a Doom, a buyback meant nothing to me. So like they kill me, they get a pick on me, so they start playing a little more greedy. I see a PA like blink strike forward here. She goes from her base, blink strikes here. I immediately buy back, boots of travel these creeps, and Doom her, and we win the game. And the reason we can do that is because I have an enormous gold surplus. I was floating like, I don't know, like 4k extra, and I was like 5-6 slotted or something with like a moon shard and stuff. And like that's just how you have to play if you want to win. Like if you want to fight, I guess fighting's, you could say it's more fun. Personally, I find winning games to be fun and doing what it takes to win games to be fun. Can't kill him because you're weak. I don't know what he's doing. He thought that was a good idea. This guy should have been long gone. I guess it doesn't really matter. They got megas. They don't even have an AC. AC would be huge in this game. It's just getting like a blade mail now. I thought that was the makings of an AC. It was the makings of a blade mail. Even worse decisions. So yeah, I don't know. This game's over. But to summarize, you won fights, you overstayed your welcome and died. They won fights, they farmed the map and took objectives. That's what it was. You took all your objectives by like the 25-minute mark. Or, yeah, by like 25-minute mark, you were trying to knock on tier 3. There's nothing wrong with that, but you should do it when you have an Aegis or have like an overwhelming advantage that you can like discernibly feel and see. And you didn't, because your Tiny didn't farm, your Kunkka had no farm, your Brew had no farm. No one had farm. These heroes 3 creeps a minute. This guy, like 2. It's disgusting. So, I hope that helps, but so that's the moral of it. You need to like use your advantage to get a bigger advantage. Like if they're scared to leave their base or they can't take a team fight, farm out the whole map. And when you win a team fight, and you can't take an objective safely, don't try and force the objective. Like, oh, maybe we can do this. No, just if you're not 100% confident that you can take this objective, then back up and farm. Like, that's what they did. I pointed out they won a huge fight here. Took this. You guys were still dead. They took a tier 2, and you guys were still dead. You were kind of respawning. They could have tried to force a tier 3. They had an Aegis. They had whatever. What do? They back up. They farm their ancients. They farm your woods. They farm their woods. They farm this lane. That's a huge amount. That's a huge amount of CS. Like your team as a whole ends up with like 11 creeps a minute in the game, which is horrible. Like a single individual can do that on a decently farming hero, let alone on a whole team, which should be getting like 30 CS a minute or something as a team. Would be pretty reasonable. But yeah, so that kind of concludes it. I'll try and look at another one and be a little more insightful. I was kind of like tired when I was doing this. I just woke up a little while ago, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see the same thing. Like when I looked at the Dota buffs, what I saw was, okay, their team has no farm. I see the graphs, and I see where the graphs go in the opposite direction. And like just looking at that, I don't even have to look at the game. I can see what happened. You took a bad fight, lost, you didn't have farm. That's it. But cool. So we'll close this one out, and I'll probably do another one.